Welcome to the 30 to 1 podcast. I'm your host, Cody, joined as I am each and every single episode by the one, the only, everyday average Joe, Jason. How you doing, Jason?
The people's champ.
Jason, the people's champ. The public won. The public did well this week.
They did.
Oh, man. You love to see it and you hate to see it.
And had absolutely no business winning any of them.
Yeah, it's all right, though. The public gets there sometimes. The public does get there sometimes. But, yeah, this wasn't the most money I've ever lost in a weekend, but it was the worst record winning percentage I've ever had. Going into Monday Night Football on the bets I had provided, I was 1-3, and I was not feeling too good about myself. So I'm glad that I gave out the Bills Jets under on the podcast. That cashed. And then because I was feeling so down on myself, I just started pouring money everywhere else. Bet the Jets money line, bet the Jets spread, bet a 4-leg parlay with oh my God, freaking Jets wide receiver number 17, Garrett Wilson. Anytime touchdown, Jets money line. I bet Aaron Rodgers under the passing yards ripped to his season, but that cashed. So yeah, that Monday night made up for it, and everything was right in the world. And I promise that the bets that I provide to you all are going to do better, not just the ones that I make myself when I'm feeling down. So but there are a couple games from this weekend that we wanted to get to. And I think we should start with Green Bay, Chicago, because both Jason and I, we had said last week on the podcast that we weren't really confident in that -1 spread. Chicago was only favored by 1. It was kind of sketchy that line didn't move all week. And we were both really high on Chicago coming in, and let me tell you, that defense looked like they were a bunch of Walmart door greeters, and nothing against Walmart door greeters, but they don't have any business being on the football field. So, Jason, why don't you start us off with what you saw in that game, your takeaways from the Green Bay-Chicago fiasco?
My takeaways from that game is that Green Bay might actually be a lot better than what I think, all collectively thought they would be heading into the season. Jordan Love looked fine. I can't tell if it was Jordan Love being a really good quarterback or if it was Chicago's defense being made of Swiss cheese. Their defense looked atrocious. Their offense looked atrocious. Everything regarding the entire city of Chicago looked atrocious throughout that game. It was a bad game for Chicago. I'm not sure if it's the coaching. I'm not sure if it's because the offensive coordinator doesn't have any faith in Justin Fields, or I'm not sure what's going on over there, but it's not good. Didn't look good. Either that or the Green Bay Packers are winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm not sure which, but I'm pretty sure from what we saw, I think it's more so that Chicago Bears are really bad. Fields looked great when he was pushing on all, I think, 2 of his throws that he pushed further than 15 yards down the field. I don't know why they're kind of playing where the hot read is all short passes and little dump offs. But it looked bad. So there's going to have to be some sort of changes made to scheme, personnel, something, because if it goes on like this, they're going to have a really good draft pick this year.
So last season, this is exactly what happened with the Bears last season. They started the season at the beginning of the year, and Justin Fields was on a very short leash. He wasn't allowed to throw the ball down the field. And then somewhere in the middle of the season, I think it was that New England game, they just let him rip, let him play his football. The season was already over, and they were just like, screw it, go out there and do your thing. And it was at that point that the Bears actually played well, and everybody, I think, that was backing the Bears this year was looking at that moment as like this epiphany for that organization, and they finally realized how to utilize that offense. And it didn't. They just went back to doing what they were doing for the first 9 weeks last season, and that's not their winning formula. Yeah, the Bears defense is terrible.
it's bad.
It was bad last year. It might be worse this year. And I don't think it was Jordan Love. I think it was Aaron Jones was clearly Jordan Love's safety net. He was his little blankie that he carried around late at night with his little nightlight. He was his nightlight, if you want to use it that one too. So I think this game says more about Chicago's defense than anything, because I don't think you can judge Jordan Love off of that performance against the Bears, because I mean, he really only threw the ball to Aaron Jones, and he only handed it off to Aaron Jones, and then that offensive line on the Chicago can't block a damn thing. They couldn't block a paper airplane from the stands. That is a terrible offensive line. So, yeah. Moving on. Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles visiting New England Patriots. What are your thoughts, Jason?
This is another one where I can't tell if the Patriots defense is that good or if Philadelphia's offense was that bad to start the season. I know people are saying like, oh, Philadelphia didn't start any of their starters throughout the preseason and they didn't play out all together. It's like, but they played together all year last year. This offense didn't change a whole lot. Their timing rhythm should be fine with each other. They also didn't seem very eager to try and push the ball downfield, but they were also pressuring just Jalen Hurts a lot. And so they were getting to him a lot. He was making mistakes. They weren't running the ball great. It was an ugly game to watch. Eagles defense looks like it's going to be fine. But man, if their offense has got to figure it out. It could just be that Belichick's defense figured something out from watching all the tape from last year and kind of put a stop to everything they're trying to do. So I want to see both teams play this week. If New England really does have that staunch defense and they can put a stop to Miami's offense, then then I'll see. Because by all indications, New England had chances to win that game. They probably should have won that game. That was theirs to win. They made a couple mistakes towards the end of the game. That kind of cost them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing both teams play again this week to kind of see where they're at, what's going on.
The New England Patriots outplayed the Philadelphia Eagles at every facet of the game for 3.5 quarters. The first 5 minutes of that game, the New England Patriots said, you know what? We don't want this win. We're just going to give it to you. So they threw the pick six, which was, you can't blame Mac Jones for that. You could say the pass was high. It hit the receiver in the hands. It was one of those tip interceptions we saw in the Lions game on Thursday night, which according to Tirico, you got Mike Tirico, you got to put an asterisk on that Lions win, which is bullshit. You don't put an asterisk on it. A win's a win. You play who you play. But anyway, I digress. It was unforced errors on the Patriots side. Zeke fumbled the ball and basically gave the Eagles a red zone possession off rip. So you take away those two plays, the Eagles score 12 points and Patriots score 20, and this is a completely different conversation. I think the New England Patriots, I think it says more, again, about the New England Patriots than it does about Philly. Philly's going to be a great team this year. There's no doubt in my mind. I think they're going to be a wonderful team. They have a good defense, and that offense, like you said, didn't change. But this New England defense is serious. The New England defense was able to keep Jalen Hurts. We both did it.
Same thing. You saw me do it and did walk into the same exact trap.
I did not learn from your mistake. This New England defense was able to keep Jalen Hurts to 170 yards passing and 36 yards rushing. And they were creating pressure after pressure on play after play. And this was against the the offensive line that PFF ranked as the #1 offensive line coming into the season. And they did that. they had that performance and still almost won a game. The Patriots lost that game. The Eagles didn't win. And I gotta say, sometimes in betting, there's always a right side and a wrong side, and then there's luck, and the rest of it's luck, right? So the Patriots, I think we can both agree, the Patriots from the beginning were the right side in that game. The chips didn't just didn't fall our way, just like the 49ers were the right side in the Steelers game. The 49ers Steelers game. I was dead wrong on the 49ers. They're going to be great. Brock Purdy is him. Brock Purdy is the second coming of Tom Brady. Like, this is going to be a great team, and I was dead wrong. But like, sometimes you're on the right side and luck falls your way, and sometimes you're on the wrong side and you get lucky and you win even when you're on the wrong side. So that's just what sports betting is. Like, you could be on the right side, but any given Sunday. So I think we were on the right side with New England, and Philly just covered. Philly covered. But not to belabor that point. Buffalo versus the New York Jets, Jason. That was a very not a lot happened in that game. I don't really know why we have this on our list, because nothing noteworthy occurred in that game that I can recall, except for maybe that Aaron Rodgers fleeced the Jets for $46 million.
He just wanted to save them that first round pick.
Oh my gosh, man. He just got the bag for 4 plays.
Well, yeah. He cost him an Achilles tendon, though. Man,
I tear my Achilles for 40-something million.
Not true.
I'd do a lot more for 40-something million that I won't say on the podcast on a recording.
Calm down. That was, I mean, people who had expectations for this Jets team, the entire city of New York or state of New York and New Jersey felt all simultaneously gasped at their TVs when he went down. And at first when he went down, it just looked like, oh, he re-aggravated his calf strain. And everybody's like, oh, don't worry, they're just going to tape it up. He's going to be back out there. Maybe he'll come back next week. But, man, once the Twitter doctor detectives got out there and saw, oh, there's a little bit of movement in his calf when he went down, they're like, tore his Achilles. And everybody's like, no, he's getting X-ray. He's not Achilles. Oh, it was Achilles, man. So he might be done for his career. They're saying he's going to try and come back, but he's going to be 40. That's a lot of rehab to come back. Granted, he's already going to have to do that rehab anyway if he just wants to live like normal life to like stuff. But it's going to be tough for him to come back, I think, from that. That it might have been the last time we see Aaron Rodgers out on the football field. And then for the next 2 quarters, nothing really was happening in that game.
Well, there was one thing that just kept happening over.
There was one thing. Josh Allen seems to have reverted back to himself from 2-3 years ago, where he's looking to throw the ball to the other team. It's like he sees his receiver and then looks at the safety and he's like, ooh, that guy's wide open. He might be colorblind, actually. Now that I'm thinking, he might be colorblind. He doesn't know the difference between the jerseys.
He doesn't know his greens and blues.
Yeah. It was bad. I mean, he looked really bad. He looked flustered. He looked like he didn't know what was going on out there. He was trying to throw the ball downfield when he didn't need to. They had a lead. Every time he threw an interception, they had the lead.
He was trying to go big. Go big or go home.
Well, he went home all right.
Just like they did last year and every year since in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, this might just be who he is. We've all kind of been thinking over the past 2 years, like he's him. But now we're kind of thinking he's him in a completely different fashion. He's him. He's Josh Allen, who can look great, like the greatest player in the league one week, and the next week come out and throw 3 picks and have a fumble. So I don't know what this Bills team is going to look like. He's going to have to clean it up a lot. There's no reason they should have lost that game as soon as Aaron Rodgers left the field. Zach Wilson came out there looking like a scared little boy for 3.5 quarters, basically.
I texted you at one point during the game and said, why the fuck does Zach Wilson run backwards 59 yards every time he drops back? He was running for his life.
Yeah, he was terrified out there, and he somehow pulled off the dub. This Jets defense.
He threw a back shoulder fade to the inside corner, and Garrett Wilson had to reach across both their bodies to drag the ball into position.
Can we talk about that?
That
Garrett
was
Wilson.
the worst back shoulder fade. How do you throw a back shoulder fade into the chest of the inside receiver?
Garrett Wilson on that play was not only the best wide receiver on the field, he was also the best cornerback on the field. He played excellent defense against that cornerback in order to keep him from picking that ball, and then popped it up to himself as he's falling to the floor, grabs it out of the air as he's on the ground in the end zone for a touchdown, for probably the best catch we're going to see all season.
Mama, there goes that man. Man,
probably the person who's most sad about Aaron Rodgers going down is Garrett Wilson, because now he has to go back to another season of Zach Wilson, and it's not great.
Approximately 10 minutes after the Aaron Rodgers injury, I went on Twitter and there was already a meme of Tom Brady in a Jets uniform.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta find somebody, because Saleh came out after the game saying Zach Wilson's our guy. No, he ain't. You don't go spend a first-round pick on him and then go out and trade for Aaron Rodgers if he's your guy. He's not your guy. You got to find somebody. The only thing is, who are you going to bring in? Tom Brady's part owner of the Raiders, so he'd have to sell off his stake of the Raiders in order to come back and play for a team.
Cam Newton's out there. He said he's still a top 32 quarterback.
Yeah, they also said Kaepernick's agent reached out to them. Like, Kaepernick hasn't even played in 6 years, and he's like, "Oh, let me come back." He's 35 years old. He ain't coming back for shit. He sued the league. He's done.
Joe Flacco. They got Joe Flacco.
No, we saw the Joe Flacco show last year. They don't need him. They
did okay with him. They did better with him than they did with Zach Wilson.
Well, yeah, cardboard cutout could do better than Zach Wilson. They got Phillip Rivers. He's come out there and put his name out for other jobs, not necessarily this one.
Okay, I think this is probably the most attractive pitching, the most attractive quarterback job you could get, though. No, because that running game, that defense, they're good.
I saw they reached out to Chad Henne, who had already played in this offense before. But Chad Henne, I mean, these are all stopgaps. They gotta trade for a backup. I heard Jacoby Brissett's name out there for a possible trade option. That would be good. I think he's probably the best option if they can get him cheap. I mean, if they offer a fourth for somebody's backup quarterback, they've got to take a fourth round pick for their backup. Yeah. Maybe not for like a super injury prone quarterback, but I think they got to trade for somebody.
Damn, if only Trey Lance was still available.
Yeah, Trey Lance. I don't know. Cam Newton might not be bad. Honestly, if you put Cam Newton back there, have him throw a deep bomb every now and then, and then just run the option.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great offense, great offensive scheme. The things you could do with that would be pretty good if you get a mobile quarterback back there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Jets, that Aaron Rodgers injury was pretty bad. Pretty bad. I think I called Jason a little while after it happened, and I said, I hope you didn't put a lot on that Jets Super Bowl future.
Yeah.
Because that's dead immediately. Yeah. I feel one as a human for Aaron Rodgers, but for all of those fans, the Jets fans, they've been through so much. They had to endure a season with Zach Wilson. Come on, that might be Oh my God, Mark Sanchez, like, come on, they have been struggling for decades at this point.
The best head coach they've had in our lifetimes had a foot fetish. Rex Ryan.
And he has perfect teeth now, all natural by the way.
Yeah. Of course.
I saw a guy. He was on TikTok. He goes, "Yeah, this whole off season, I didn't let myself get excited. They were like, oh, we were signing Aaron Rodgers. I didn't get excited. I watched him on Hard Knocks. I didn't get excited. I heard all the news. I didn't get excited. I've been through enough. I know, never get excited about the Jets. But when I saw Aaron Rodgers carrying that American flag, I got excited. I got excited, and 4 plays later, our season was over.
Like, heart ripped out.
That was such a funny TikTok, bro.
Oh.
But moving into our overreactions for the week. Anything stick out to you? Like overreact to some stuff, Jason?
My overreaction, I think the Colts are actually pretty good. I think Anthony Richardson, my overreaction, Anthony Richardson, Rookie of the Year.
No.
He looked great. He looked great against the Jags. I think the Jags are going to be a good team this year. And the Colts were in that game, man. They almost beat them.
Colts were good.
I'm not saying the Colts are going to do anything crazy this year and make a deep playoff run or anything. But they might fuck around and win that division. That's my overreaction.
That's a little crazy out there. I was thinking I wrote down a bunch of names on Sunday night when I was heated. And I'm gonna just go through it, all right? Brandon Staley, get him out. How? Get him out. Tyreek Hill almost broke the single season receiving record in a single game. You have the highest paid safety in the NFL, and you have freaking one of the Bosa brothers, and you're supposed to be a defensive mind, and you haven't once had a top 5 defense in Los Angeles. Trash. Get him out. Kellen Moore. I don't know why the hell they thought Kellen Moore was going to fix that offense. He couldn't do shit with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Zeke Elliott, or Tony Pollard in their primes. Get him out. Russ is cooked. Get him out of Denver. Trash. All right, get him gone. Keyshawn Butt is booty cheeks. He couldn't get 2 feet in bounds if he didn't put a gun to his head. Get him out. Ron Rivera, your replacement's already there. You're already on the way out, buddy. Matt Eberflus, trash. Get him out. Luke Getsy, who the hell are you? Go. Get him out. That's it. All right, get him out. They're done. All of them. Gone.
I actually saw a crazy stat for the the Chargers Miami game. Tua was hit as many times in that game as Aaron Rodgers was in his game.
And you're a defensive-minded coach. What is going on? And you got Bosa, and I'm pretty sure Khalil Mack.
Yeah, Khalil Mack too.
What are you doing? What are we doing? And you got the highest paid safety, and you're still giving up fucking 466 yards out the roof. They tore the roof off of that defense, and you have the highest paid safety in the NFL. Get the hell out of here. Trash.
And Miami was missing their best offensive lineman.
Golly, man. Brandon Staley, you are trash.
They're playing man coverage on Tyreek Hill.
You're about to be joining Arizona's head coach over in Thailand or wherever country he's in. He still hasn't come back from. That's how.
Oh, fun fact! He did come back.
Oh, did he come back?
Yeah,
he's with his supermodel girlfriend.
He's an assistant coach for USC.
That might be a better place for him. I
saw him last week.
You were watching the game and you're like, wait a minute.
I was like, wait a minute. Is that Cliff Kingsbury? I thought he was in Thailand.
That's funny. But yeah, on that note, man, that was our overreaction. That was what we thought about week 1 of the NFL. Thank you for listening in to this episode of the 30 to 1 podcast. We'll catch you next time.
Peace. Outro.